Most people think that you need to be some sales ninja with a silver tongue to generate multiple seven figures in sales. Over the last 16 years, I've helped hundreds of companies, thousands of reps build hundreds of millions of dollars in pipeline with this one sales framework script. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use this in a step-by-step process. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact words I use to build millions of dollars in pipeline for sales organizations across the globe. And even if you're just getting started with sales as a rep, you can put this into action and start seeing success immediately. So let's break down this simple 12-step completion framework. By the way, if you click in the description to join my private school community, you can get access to group coaching, accountability, and networking for other sales reps. If you haven't checked that out, look at the link in the description. So before we get into the actual framework, I want to take a step back and think about the current state of outbound. So most organizations have reps making calls with the intention of doing just one thing, and that's booking or scheduling first meetings. And what I'm going to tell you is that that approach is what's making most folks actually fail. Because when it comes to outbound, most reps are only making about $50 a day, maybe talking to one or two people if they're lucky. And when they're seeking nothing more than just to schedule a meeting, they don't get a lot of results. They get frustrated with the no's, the not me's, the not now's. And because they're not calculating those as a positive outcome in our process, we get burnt out. We don't actually commit to the process for a long enough period of time, and ultimately we fail. So what we do in my process is actually start to think about outbound, not in the form of meetings being the only success criteria that we're looking for, but we're actually looking for something that we call a completion. A completion is we reach the right person that we intended to target. So not an admin, not a gatekeeper, but the individual at the company we are seeking to have a conversation with. We've reached them. They've allowed us to actually explain why we're calling, and we get to a yes, a no, a not me, a not now. And by focusing on this completion versus just the meeting, we now have an ability to actually understand if we're on track as a sales rep over a longer period of time and make the necessary adjustments to be successful over time. Are we targeting the right people? Are we saying the right things? And when should we be following up? If we look at the completion as our first outcome over a very short period of time, within 1, 2, 3 months, we can be getting into a lot more conversations via follow-up, and our success rate is going to go through the roof. The next thing that we want to talk about, though, is what do we say when we're connecting with folks? So most reps, number one, are seeking the wrong outcome. Number two, they don't really know what to say. And so the key elements of an outbound script should really be broken down into 4 key sections, although we're going to go a little bit deeper in the framework. But we're going to have an introduction. We're going to have a reason for our call. We're going to actually pitch what we have to say, and we're going to have a strong call to action. So an example, saw you're building out a remote sales team that's responsible for making outbound calls. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. So that's the reason for my call. So now that we understand that the first thing we want to do is not just focus on meetings, but focus on completions, the next thing we want to focus on is what do we say? What is the element of our outbound message that matters most? In any given script, we're really going to have 4 key sections: an introduction, a reason for the call, a pitch, and a call to action. And if we get those baseline elements out, we're going to be in a position to ensure that we're moving towards the right path for success. Typically, most people will fail because they try to combine the introduction and the pitch right in the beginning of a call, and that leads to a quick not interested, don't call me back, getting hung up on, and it just doesn't feel right. What we want to do is try to break the pattern, establish two-way dialogue, and complete more conversations. So what does that completion script actually look like? The exact template I use breaks down into these key elements. The first thing we want to do is confirm that we have the person who we intended to target on the phone. We're either going to do that by actually hearing their name. Someone picks up, hey, this is Ryan. Or if they say hello, I'm going to say something like Ryan. Once I've confirmed, I want to move to my opener. The opener is as follows. It's a professional way of saying that this is a cold call and asking for permission without saying this is a cold call. So, hey Ryan, this is Ryan. You weren't expecting my call. It's actually the first time I've reached you. I was hoping you might be able to help me out for just a brief moment. Most people at that stage are going to say, sure, depends, what's this about? Fantastic. Again, my name is Ryan. I'm calling with, insert your company name. Not sure if that name's familiar. Not looking for them to know that. I'm establishing a dialogue. Okay, that's not a problem. Probably don't know us, but we actually work with companies, if we can use this, similar to them. If we don't have that mapping, we're going to move forward to our pattern interrupt. That's not a problem. The purpose of the call today was really to see if it makes sense to schedule an introductory conversation at another time in the future when I'm not calling you out of the blue here on a Tuesday. Do you have some time in the next week or two? Again, not trying to get them to schedule at this point. I'm actually just trying to say, it depends. What is this about? You haven't told me what to do. Bingo. Perfect. I actually want to make sure this is going to be relevant for you. I actually had you as title at company. Is that still correct? I'm confirming target. Yes, that's right, or maybe not. Okay, proceed. Perfect. I'm not sure if this is for you, but we work with, we just confirmed, at companies. This is going to get you into your pitch section. Once you get your pitch out there, you're going to want to have a question to break up. What did I just say? This is either going to validate that they are indeed someone that has a problem you're solving, depending on how you structured your pitch, but just out of curiosity, are you currently working with any tools or services that help solve the problem this way? Or just out of curiosity, when you are doing things in this way today, what is the result going to be? And then finally, we're going to have our call to action. Depending on how they respond to that, we want to message it in such a way that gives us a response that we really don't care if it's a yes or a no. We're basically going to say, that's fantastic, perfect, that's exactly why I was calling. Would you be opposed to finding 10, 15 minutes for a call at some point in the next week or two? This structure, when you actually use it and put it into action, gives you the 85% of the words, phrases, and sentences that you can use consistently with confidence over time to maximize the likelihood of getting as many people on your list into a completion. Completion being, I reached the right person, I confirmed that they were them, they heard what I had to say, and I get to a yes, a no, a not me, a not now. By using this framework, I'm going to capture the majority of my completions on that first call. I'm gathering information, I'm building awareness, I'm able to move deals forward when relevant, but I'm also capturing timing and relevance for follow-up. Am I targeting the right people? Am I saying the right things? And when should I be following up? If you want to learn how to crush your quota and use this script like hundreds of others that are a part of our network already, take a look at our school community. You can get access to this framework, tons of other resources, hundreds of coaching hours, and weekly live coaching with me. Take a look at the link in description. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and look out for future videos.